So depending on when you're watching this video, this is January 2021. 2020, what a year. So I wanted to start off this year with a bit of positivity, and I'm doing a clean out of the studio here, trying to get it more presentable for live streaming and YouTube video production. So for Christmas, one of my relatives gave me a ring light, which is going to be a really good addition to the lighting setup for the studio and hopefully improve the production quality. Problem is, I don't have space to actually mount the ring light in a position that would actually be useful. So I have a microphone arm left over from one of my previous projects. I'm going to make an adapter that will allow me to mount the ring light onto the microphone arm. So before I get started on the adapter, I need to think ahead. Specifically, how am I going to make this and what components do I need? There are a number of ways to approach this, and this is dependent on what tools are available. I'm going to be 3D printing this part because it's good CAD practice and I have the 3D printers on hand. To help myself in the manufacturing part, I need a rough idea of what this part is going to look like. Will there be any overhangs? Will support material be needed? There are effectively two basic parts of this adapter. One part which will thread onto the microphone stand using an M10 thread, and the other will be a slot that will take the 1/4-20 bolt that will attach to the ring light. For this project, we're using Fusion 360, which is a freely available CAD program. To start off the design, I create a sketch that will capture the basic shape of the part and define the hole needed to attach to the microphone stand. I'm making this adapter a hexagonal shape to give me some options on print orientation later on. Once I have the basic shape, I extrude it to the required height. Now it's time to create the bolt capture mechanism. Sketching on the top surface, I define the shape of the bolt head, allowing 0.5 millimeter clearance so that the bolt will fit without any sanding or modification after the print. The bolt head was orientated 90 degrees from the base body so that I could lay the print down flat and allow it to print without any supports. Printing in this orientation could weaken the part as layer lines will run from top to bottom, so we're going to have to see how this works out. Now this is completed, it's time to export and slice the part. Top tip: a slicer is a piece of software that takes a 3D model and converts it into something that a 3D printer can understand and output as a physical object. Typically, these are G-code files. So before all of this lockdown business kicked in for many of us back in early 2020, I was in talks with a good friend of mine to set up a small makerspace servicing my local maker community. With lockdown, that's not been possible. So I've come up with the idea of opening up my workshop to become a virtual makerspace. The idea is I'm going to take submissions from viewers, either for a full project or for part of a project. We'll work on that in either a long-form produced piece of content or a live stream. Which format that will be chosen for a particular video will be based upon how complex the project is and the approximate time that this piece of work can actually be completed in. For any digital work, I will send the viewer the files that we create either in the produced content or the live stream completely free. So if you're interested in having your project featured in the Makerspace series, follow the link in the description, submit your project request in the form. Please make sure to use a genuine email address because I might need to reach out and have a conversation with you to clarify any elements of your projects. Okay, so now we have our part printed. We need to put a thread inside this hole. And because of the way we printed it, we couldn't 3D print the thread inside. So out comes the trusty tap and die set, and we're looking for an M10 tap.
I think the project turned out really well, and it's been a decent upgrade for the workshop. I think we can now officially say the IQ Workshop Virtual Makerspace is now open. So if you want one of your projects considered, follow the link in the description, submit your form, and I'll catch you in the next video.